And I'd like to call the meeting to order. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the April 13th, 2022 meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Phil, are you on?
I am.
Okay, good, good. to have you.
Perfect.
Okay, under communication reports, monthly operating report, summary, April 2022.
Good. So for the month of April, we averaged almost 5 million gallons a day. The typical wet month for spring, 97% removal for suspended solids and 97.5 for BOD. Total effluent phosphorus was 54 pounds. We also were 10 pounds under the nitrogen permit, which was good considering the flow was up, and the monthly E. coli was an average of 5.9. We made this chart, which was the least confusing way we could make it, but we ended up taking on the right-hand axis was our flows over the years for 2021, and 2022, because they had higher consistent flows. And then on the bar graph portion, we graphed the nitrogen pounds. So you can see in 2016 how it was quite a bit higher. You're talking 300 to 400 pounds, and the flow was actually lower. And then 2022 and 21, you can see how the flow is up here, especially this year, but the nitrogen and the green and the yellows is that much lower. So that kind of displays how the tanks work and that we did last year. It's working pretty well still. Any questions on those two reports?
One minor question here. On
Yep.
the BOD, I don't know whether I just haven't paid attention to this.
Yep.
But did they change the name somewhere along the biochemical?
Nope, it's always been that.
It's always been there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So, as far as the, nitrogen and the, credits or whatever.
Yep.
What time of year do they?
We typically, I say probably around June, July, we get them. This year, it was only like a pound under, so I guess probably like $1,000. It won't be anything crazy. This upcoming year, we'll probably get a couple $1,000 back, because right now we're averaging about 162, I think. I got to check. So we're almost 15, 20 pounds under for the year average, which should go lower because now it's going to dry up a little bit versus being wet in March and April. So, and then obviously the big savings too is phosphorus. So right now we're running no pack. We'd average typically 60 to 80,000 a year. And right now for April and May, we're way under permit and we're running nothing. So that's substantial savings too. Pump stations.
You're busy again.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because it's just nice out now and everybody's out, but we've got a lot of stuff in the pumps we've been pulling out, which we haven't had for a while. So Centerbrook, we had a pump fault. We found rags and debris in the pump, cleaned it, put back in, it was fine. Snowberry, we replaced a low level float. We had cleaned that well, so we kind of anticipated that. Sometimes they get hung up on the float and then the switch breaks, so we replaced that. Stanley pump station, we pulled pump one. After inspecting it, we took out 10 gallons of debris and rags. It's put back on, it was monitored. This pump, I'll put some pictures on next month. We're probably going to end up rebuilding it or buying a new one soon. It's not quite terrible yet, but the wear ring is worn out and the actual like cutter for the impeller is pretty dull at this point, but it's 14, 15 years old. It's a triplex station. So it's, if it was 20, I'd say it was past the point. At 15, it's probably getting there. Patrick Flood, we had a pump fault there. That was more based on the suction system. It's a suction lift station there. So it has to prime before they can draw any water. And if you get any little piece of rag or debris in the priming system, it gets clogged. So we cleaned out, changed the filters, and the solenoid has been running fine since. Backflow preventers were tested at Harlan and Allstate. We had no issues there. I actually wrote attached on here for the DPC engineering results and recommendations. I waited till next month though, for the simple fact that we're gonna reach out to a couple contractors for bids for some of the work, because some of it is like manhole repair and maintenance for infiltration. We use Savian Sons for some of the epoxying. So I wanted to kind of get a quote from them to see, there wasn't much areas up there. Colony, Pine, Meadowside, we were expecting some infiltration, some results for the smoke testing, but we didn't actually find that many problem areas, which is good. So we're gonna try to check up by Berkshire, up by Batterson. I think there's some areas there too, but hopefully we won't find that many either. We cambered Noah Wallace storm drains. The building maintenance guy had called me. He was getting some water in the basement. So we used the camera and we basically pulled it on the south side of the building where the big parking lot is. Found a huge root ball literally right under the biggest tree that was above the storm line. So he said when he started there, it wasn't an issue, and the tree was probably not even this big 20 years ago, and now it's like that. So Savian Sons used a cutter to get it out. They're probably going to remove the tree. We also cambered Hillside Avenue in Unionville. We located a collapsed portion of pipe. The corrugated pipe isn't even visible. It's just basically dirt and cement. So I talked to Highway. We're going to repair that as well. We continued to clear right-of-ways in Jet. We did Carrington, Church Street, Hart Street, Wolf Pit, Elizabeth, and Irene. They're milling and they're going to be paving. So those 3 streets are all cleaned and vacked as well. Repairs and
That Hart Street is H-A-R-T. There's no.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no E.
So half the time I think I put them in and then my spell check corrects them. I mean,
Well, it's correct.
Yeah.
It's spelled right, but it's.
All right, let me just edit that then.
That like tree at Noel School.
Yep.
Was that by the Barney Library or is it?
So I haven't been in there, but if you take a left on, it's,
School Street to go up School Street by the church,
yeah,
by the Congo Church.
Yeah, so it's-
And then you go into the parking lot.
yeah, I think one of the old guys that lives in the back of the field there, he used to be on the commission or work in the town, I think. Because I had to call him because we parked the vac truck on his driveway and I can't remember the individual's name. But we're on the south side of the school, like closest towards the church.
Yeah.
So, and it was the storm line comes down from the back. They have like the gardens in the back with like the garden boxes.
Mhm.
And it comes down the side of the building and then goes in the front where the school buses are.
Right.
And the tree was literally right on top of the line.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because that basement there always, it floods a lot.
well, they have a weird issue too in like the courtyard in the front.
Yes, yeah.
I know it's flooded through there because we've gone out and jetted and cleaned it, but it's a continuous
Yeah.
issue there.
Yeah, they have a lot of, that's
Yep.
just always been a problem there with that.
And in fact, when we cambered it, some of the actual storm drains that were showing like 3, we were getting 5 and 6 lines coming out of them. They're not even on the prints. So
Yeah.
we redrew some of it, but it's gonna take some more time out there, I think.
Well, that was built in 1904.
Yeah.
Why aren't they on the prints? You know, that was,
So I could tell you stories, yeah, but I'm not surprised
there are
there.
classrooms in that basement.
Yeah,
That's a half basement.
because I know in the back you can see the classrooms, the south side, I don't know how, you can't see too much here because there's a bunch of like bushes and stuff on the side of the
Yeah,
building.
well, you can, in the courtyard, you can see it's a half basement on that
Yep.
level.
Okay,
And there are classrooms there, and those have flooded for the past 30, 40 years.
okay,
Yeah. It's nothing new, it's just a problem that's always been there.
okay. Repairs and maintenance. We cleaned the aeration tank weirs, changed the valve on the environment mixing system. That's for the dewatering solid system. We changed the flow regulator in the HVAC room. Changed compressor oil and filters in the transfer building. And the oil separators were also changed and the air filters were cleaned. It may seem like we're doing a lot of oil changes, but right now there's an issue getting filters, grease and oil for some of the equipment. Some of the VFDs and PLCs we have, there's a 35-week lead time on them. It's crazy. We just can't get parts. So we're trying to be proactive. So if we change it, it's synthetic. We know we have 18 to 20 months to let this kind of calm down. And hopefully it doesn't continue. Certain parts of the grease for the blowers, it's almost $1,200 for a 20-ounce tube. It's insane what they're charging or what they're trying to get now. On April 28th, we changed the blend tank mixer oil for the dewatering system. And I already discussed, we didn't use any chemicals for phosphorus removal due to the fermentation tank. And that should be it. Any questions? The lateral report, we actually bumped back to June. We'll include it then.
$100 for 20 ounce too.
Yep.
Liquid gold.
Yeah, as Gordon Gecko said, greed is good.
Yeah, one of our reps actually told us like they can't even place an order for grease with the company. They're not even taking orders because they can't even insure it in under 8 months. So
Let's go, Brandon.
that's right.
All right, no new business, unfinished business, any other business?
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, hearing none, I hear a motion to adjourn,
So moved. Second.
moved in second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion is carried.